And now, the time fight fans all across the globe have been waiting for. It's the MTMV main card with your man, The Voice. As always, in the opposite corner, the bully, the butcher, the lover, the fighter, the Broad Street's own Iron Willdris Ruffin. What's going on, Ruff?
What's going on, boys? I see 20 seconds in and you already slandered me with this butcher name. Y'all. I've been working hard on these names, y'all. So you know what I'm saying? Bear with me. I'm gonna knock these Jones out.
It's no slander. It's just the truth, and it's okay. It's okay. You are like the DJ Jeremiah of fight sports. Doesn't matter what the name is. There's a great possibility that you're gonna get it wrong, and that's okay. With that, that's your
I'm not even gonna
stick,
take that
and we're gonna
slander.
run with it.
I'm not gonna take that slander for me or the homie. You know what I'm saying?
Oh
So
no, see, he's leaned all the way into it. I was listening to the show the other day, and he called Limo Blaze Limo Blaze. I'm like, dude, it's Limo and Blaze.
we
How you
from
get
up
that wrong?
because we from up north, man. We pronounce things slightly differently. You know what I'm saying? You
Oh, okay.
gotta roll with the punches of our accents and whatnot. So that ain't nothing against that. That's just how we
Okay.
pronounce things. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so what you're saying is that the school systems in the North are really bad when it comes to pronunciation and diction and things of that nature. That's what you're saying?
You know, at some point, Voice, you and I are gonna have to have this out in like a celebrity death match bout or something. One of us got to go because I can't keep accepting this slander weekend we got, especially when I give you these great lean-ins. Ladies
You
and
do.
gentlemen, it's the man, the myth, the legend, sometimes the thorn in my side, the Voice, the MTMV curator of combat sports. See, I didn't even do the drum right because you got me flustered, but it's okay because I'm destroying this episode. You know what I'm saying?
All
We got
right.
great things to talk about, some fights, some spicy stuff. You see me and Voices already beefing, so this is right where you want to be.
Hey,
Voice,
but
you
but
ready?
we might be beefing, but we match.
Yeah, we match it. I mean, you got on. I don't know who you got on though, because I got the GOAT. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to 494. Really, yo, my mother is coming on here with the slander. We not late, man. We on time. You know what I'm saying? I got the GOAT
No,
on, Michael
well,
Jordan.
we're gonna have to keep it real. Mama, you right. We were 2 minutes late. We were too busy talking about some stuff, and that's on us. We're sorry, but yeah,
That ain't on me, sir. I was ready to go.
okay. Well, I'll take that. I'll take that, Mama. I'll take that. We're scheduled to start at 15 after. Sometimes we start a little early. Today
I
was
was
the
ready.
first time we started a little late, but we're gonna make it great.
I was ready. My face was lotion. You know what I'm saying? I'm Muhammad Ali luxurious today. I'm with it. I'm waiting on you, sir. So we ready?
We are, and we're gonna have to do better for Mama. All right, so take it away.
Awesome. So we got some great things to start out with. First, we're gonna talk about the 160 event, which is gonna be awesome. Two
Hold on,
spicy
you said 116.
the
So
one
we're
no, I
doing
said the one
reach
160, sir.
one
One
one one one
160.
six reach records.
No, sir.
We
No, sir.
unashamed. That's what we're
The
talking about.
160.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
all right. So one championships, 160th show. Gotcha.
Wow.
Salute to
Wow.
Lecrae and everybody on Reach Records though.
So on this card, we have what I call a co-main event that'll be taking place on Friday. First, we got the one featherweight world champion, Tan Lee. He's looking to defeat Kai Tang to remain champion. Now, while Lee has stated that he has great respect for Lee as a fighter, he's not allowing Tang's trash talk to deter him from getting the job done. Now, if you haven't been able to see the media calls, Tang stated previously, "You're old. It's time to retire. I'll be the new king of the featherweight division." So Lee sees focus as a strength as he's not trying to fall into what he stated on the call, a McGregor Aldo situation. So what Lee said was, no matter if he talked or said nothing, the fact is he's a dangerous fighter that's going to give everything he has to take the belt. When you allow trash talk to affect you, That's when a McGregor Aldo situation happens. He wanted to kill McGregor so bad he threw all caution to the wind, and we saw what happened. So, Voyze, right now, 160 based off of the two main events alone look to be a card full of fireworks. But what do you make of the statements by both fighters and Lee's insistence on not giving trash talk to literally an opponent who's 10 years his junior?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I don't know that it's trash talk per se, because he's
Mhm.
stating the truth. He said you're old, and for fighting, especially at the lighter weight classes, 36 is old. So there's truth to that. And he's 26. He should be the new, up and coming. He hasn't even hit his physical prime yet. He won't hit that for another like couple years or so.
Mhm.
So I don't know how much trash talk it is as much as it's truth talk that hurts. And how I feel about that and what I say. I quote Sister Soldier, someone else from up north, said, if the truth hurts, then you'll be in pain. Now, Tang wants to inflict pain literally on Tan Lee. Tan is a vet. He's a vet of one championship. He has been around for a minute doing his thing. He's old and he's got the right to say, yeah, I'm old. Yeah, I'm a vet. He's been fighting in one championship since 2019 and has not lost since he joined one championship, including his last fight, which was a ground and pound victory over famed Brazilian jiu-jitsu grappler Gary Tonin, the Lion Killer. So he's got a reason to have a little swag and say, okay, yeah, I may be old, but that is more like experience, than anything. He was on the Ultimate Fighter. He has fought in LFA. He was on Dana White Contender Series and was successful there. I really thought he was going to get a contract from that, but I thought at least he'd get picked up a little further down the line since he did not get onto the UFC directly from the show. But they didn't. Like I said, he came into one championship, took out notable vets like No Face, Kotetsu Boku, the champ Martin UN, the situation, and then took out Gary Tone and gave him his first L. So yeah, he is old, but he's got that experience. Whereas Tang hasn't been around the block like that. I mean, well, he couldn't. He's been too young to be around the block like that. And he's got some wins, but as far as anything that really sticks out, I can't say that. Just looking at what he's done in one championship, he's undefeated since joining one championship. So should he be fighting for the title? Absolutely, based on that. But what can he do? And really, with him saying, hey, I'm the new blood, I'm coming up. Yeah, you are. And you need to fight somebody notable. You will in this fight. How you perform, that's another story. Now, not only has he won all his fights in one championship, he's won them by stoppage. He's either knocked people out. He's I'll take that back. He has two decisions, but the majority are stoppages, body kicks, uh, ground and pound, and stoppage by punches, including his last two bouts. So it's gonna be interesting to see how this one goes. Whether the young gun will take out the old lion in Tan Lee.
It's funny though, because even when you look at videos of Lee times response, like after a fight, he called him out and he was like requesting for the fight to happen. And when Lee was talking about it, he was just like, laughing about it. So he seems like he's really focused, like he's not gonna let anything deter him, which ultimately could work against time. So that's definitely gonna be exciting. Now, it's a great fight, but the other main event seems to be one of the most disrespectful one-on-ones that's going to happen. So after their last controversial split decision in their last bout, Okray Yoon and Christian Lee, they're battling again. And this is also going to be a rematch for the one lightweight world championship. Now, while there's a lot of people that believe that the victory should have gone the other way, including Lee, Yoon is literally looking to put any doubt to bed. And he even stated in his most recent comments during a meeting with the media, Yoon stated, "I'm going to dominate this bout. I'm going to dominate this week. That's going to be 2-0 for me. So Christian Lee won't have any reason to have a thought against me." Lee, on the other hand, has stated that he wants to decisively defeat Yoon so that he can leave no doubt who the winner is this time. But Yoon called out and said, listen, he said the same thing during our last bout. He said he finished me early. Every MMA athlete thinks the same thing. Of course, we all want to finish the bout as early as possible. But what happened in our last bout? So, Voyze, this seems to be worse than the first fight. So with all that back and forth in this meeting, it's clear there's animosity. But who comes into the bout with an edge, and what should we expect from this rematch?
As far as an edge is concerned, that would have to go to the champion because he's the champ. He's the one that has the title. He's the one that won WON, not ONE, won championship, but that won the bout. One thing that one championship does a lot of in situations like this is if they think the judges got it wrong, they run it back like pretty immediately. And sometimes they'll say, oh, no, you all got that wrong. It should have been judged this way. This person is a champion. Now, Christian Lee is one championship royalty, along with his sister Angela. They have been like the poster children for one championship. They are of Asian descent, Singapore specifically, at least partially Singaporean descent, and many of one championships fights take place in Singapore. So they have the Singapore faithful with them. They bring the American fan base over as they are. They were born in the U.S. and live in Hawaii. So you got all that, and Christian is looking to reassert himself as the champion. He won the championship, beating Shinya Aoki, the legend, and no one really thought that he could do it. They thought that he was biting off a little more than he could chew, even though Shinya was a little long in the tooth when that fight took place. But he beat Shinya Aoki. Then he went on to beat Doggy. Oh my goodness. And Doggy was killing everybody, including oh father, who was that high name person they brought over? Eddie Alvarez. Just destroyed Eddie Alvarez. And Doggy was no joke. He was running through everybody. Beat him. And I'm sorry, hold on. Let me make sure that wasn't Tim Nasty. One of the two of them did it, but yeah, it was either Doggy or Tim Nasty that beat. It was Tim Nasty. I'm sorry, it was Tim Nasty. Go ahead.
You the butcher in this episode?
Am I butchering the episode? No, are you the butcher I got my my Eastern Europeans mixed up. That's why I said, wait a minute, let me double check, because I think I have that wrong, and I was wrong. Now, Doggy was killing everybody. Don't get that. It's true. And so was Tim Nasty. They were both doing their thing, but Tim Nasty's the one that beat Alvarez, not Doggy. But guess who beat Tim Nasty?
Who's that?
Christian Lee. So,
okay.
He's been, like I said, he's been doing his thing. He's been running through everyone until he ran into Ukraine. Then, the fight went the way that it went. It'll be interesting to see whether or not that was a fluke, whether or not it was wrong, or whether Ukraine just has his number. The fact that it was a split decision means it was a close fight, which means that we should expect more of the same. Whenever fights are done again, there's knowledge now, and not just, hey, I've been studying tape, I see people's tendencies. No, I've been in there with you, and in this case, I've been in there with you for 25 minutes. I know what you do. I know your tendencies. I know some of the different things. I know when you get tired. I know where you're strong. I know where you're weak. So having that prior knowledge tends to make things easier. I mean, think about it. If you ever had to repeat a class,
Right.
when you are taking it that second time, it's like, oh yeah, I know this, and it makes things easier. Oh yeah, I was messing up on that before, but now that I've had this experience, oh I know just it makes sense now. That's the kind of situation that you go into with sometimes, let me say, because it's not
Well, I mean,
always that way, but
when I
sometimes
taught
when
the
you
class,
have a rematch. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
when I failed on my class, I kept all my work. That way, I could just copy it and paste it again. I
Well,
mean, they can't come take the degree back now, so it don't matter.
hey, no, hey, that's great. That's great. And hopefully all of your faithful Full Sail alum are watching this, so that if they wanted to,
Yo,
if
what
they
you
wanted
wow,
to
you cross snitching this episode too. Okay, all right, it's cool. I
wow,
don't know.
wow, okay. I wasn't dry snitch. I was saying if they wanted to snitch, if they could. I'm not dry snitch. I'm
But
flat out
you
saying it.
but you called the school out. Ain't no, I didn't say the school name or nothing.
Okay, I'm
All
sorry.
right, cool.
Okay.
Voice,
It could have been a community college. I don't, yeah, when
I
you
see
were
what we
taking
figured.
your prereqs.
I'm about to see if we can get on this 1/160 card too, because I think we got some things we got to work out. So
Hey, well, you know what? I'm gonna be in Orlando pretty soon. I'm gonna be in Old Town, so you know, if it's gotta
cool,
go down, no
cool. I
better
mean,
place than Old Town.
you my senior too, so I'm about to start talking trash too. So either, either way, uh, moving on to Saturday, at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino in Tulsa, Oklahoma. We got two former champions looking to bounce back to get back in the championship hunt. So, former WBO lightweight champion Jose Pedraza looks to meet former IBF lightweight champion Richard Commey. Now, while both of their losses have actually been to top-notch competition, they seem to be struggling a bit just to get back on the right track. So, Voice, the question I asked you for this bout is, who needs this win more, and what should we expect between the two?
Ooh, who needs this win more? That is an excellent question, and one that's very difficult to answer because they both need it about as much as the other. I mean, their careers, their fighting careers are on the line. I would say if one needed it more than the other,
Mhm.
then it would have to be Pedraza. And the reason being is that Pedraza, this will be his third fight at 140 pounds, whereas it's the first one for Comey. So, this is your first fight at a heavier weight class, at a different weight class. There's a little more grace given in a situation like that. Whereas for Pedraza, this is make or break. They were both champions at 135. They've both moved up in weight in a attempt to revitalize their careers. For Pedraza, you've already fought at 140 two different times. One time it was successful, and the other time not so much. And when you did not have success, you did not have it against one of the best people out there, uh, Jose Carlos Ramirez, who, if not for getting ready to get married, will be fighting for the WBC championship coming up pretty soon. And especially for Pedraza, everyone that he's lost to, for the most part, if I'm remembering correctly, they've been named people. Like I said, he lost uh, to Carlos Ramirez or Jose Carlos Ramirez. He lost to the headliner, Jose Cepeda. Or I should say, no. I'm sorry, it's Pedraza, not Cepeda. Cepeda is who was going to be fighting Carlos Ramirez. He'll now be fighting Regis Prograis. So, you're losing to the top of the top. You've either lost to champions or people who are fighting for the championship. He lost to Vasily Lomachenko. That doesn't look bad at all in any way, shape, form, or fashion. A loss to Loma is just like waking up and deciding, I think I ought to brush my teeth. That just happens. And then he also lost to Tank Davis. So he's lost to, well, and then Tank, that's kind of questionable. But anyway, he's lost to, I mean, not the loss being questionable, but the talent being questionable. I jest. I
Wow, we're
jest. I
still here.
jest. I jest. I jest. Tank is uh Tank showed me against Cruz that
Mhm,
he's a true boxer. So that's in jest. That's in jest. And I'll say that as far as fighters are concerned, that him beating Jose Pedraza, I'm talking about Tank,
mhm.
is notable. That's notable. And he knocked him out. So, that which is not uncommon for Tank, but I digress. Anyway, so for Pedraza, I think it
Mhm.
means a bit more because he's already attempted to reinvent himself. He's already fought big names in the weight class, and it's not been good. If you can't beat Richard Commey coming up from 135,
Mhm.
then you are either now in a journeyman status or you need to hang it up. One of the two.
So, what do you say to people who may think that Richard Comey needs more after his last bout? Because if I'm not mistaken, Lomachenko was actually calling for Comey's corner to end the fight on 2 occasions. Like that's the ultimate mercy rule.
You are absolutely correct. And they should have stopped the fight. It should
Mhm.
not have gone the distance. How he recuperates from that is going to be something worth watching. Now, granted, he has taken quite a bit of time off. That fight was at the end of last year. This is the first fight that he'll have. So, a good 8 months off without all the training and things that go along with it. He trained for this bout, obviously, but took a nice bit of time off between fights. So we'll see how that impacts him because that was a beating. That was an absolute beatdown. But again, this is Lomachenko, who doesn't lose to Lomachenko.
Mhm.
Um, and he was only stopped by Teofimo Lopez. He's 3-2 in his last 5. Those are the 2 losses that he's had. But he still packs a wallop. He knocked out Jackson Martinez in between that. He knocked out Raimundo Beltran before losing to Teofimo Lopez. He knocked out shoot, about 3 fighters before that. So,
Mhm.
with a 79% fight stoppage rate, he's packing a wallop. Um, will that be enough to help him weather the storm that is Pedraza and see him to victory? We'll find out. But again, I think, especially with moving up in weight, I think he has less to lose if that happens uh, than Pedraza does. Because I mean, if he loses, he says, "Okay, 140 is too heavy. I
Mhm.
lost to Loma. I could still go down and fight some of the people at 135, even if it's just a fight or two to make someone's name. I.e., let's say he fought a Ryan Garcia,
Right.
or someone like that who is still looking to make a push. Fighting Tank Davis. That those are some fights that are out there that could be good for Comey. There's still some things he can do. Pedraza loses, and think things are looking kind of bleak.
That's understandable. I can definitely see that. It's going to be a great fight either way. Two hungry fighters that are literally looking to recover. Going from them to another fighter who's literally climbing up the ranks at such a great rate is Jared Real Big Baby Anderson. I love
Mhm.
that name. So he's returning to the ring to face Milian Rovacanin in a 10-round bout that Anderson is actually hoping is a springboard to the winner of Andy Ruiz Jr. versus Luis Ortiz. Now, there, from what I'm hearing, that's a bit of a stretch that
Yeah.
happens, but it's definitely something that's on his radar. Now, we got to remember Anderson's coming off an amazing 2021, which saw him have 4 knockouts, with a knockout ending the year. So he has hopes to literally climb up the heavyweight ranks as quickly as possible. He literally stated that he wants to take as many of the best bouts he can because he wants to retire early. So That's
Okay.
definitely ambitious. So, Voice, I gotta ask, what do you make of Anderson's ambitions? And is he setting himself up for success in the manner that he's doing this, or is he possibly running himself into the ground with that mindset?
I wouldn't say that he's running himself into the ground with that mindset. Is he taking things seemingly a bit quickly, or is he trying
Mhm.
to advance, rather quickly? Seems like it. It seems like it to me, because he's only 22 years old, which in boxing in general is pretty young. For
Right.
heavyweight, that's like a real big baby for real. So, pardon the pun. But so with that being said, with him looking for those kinds of fights, I mean, as you said, it's a stretch. This is his biggest fight to date, against um the young man from the Eastern European country. I'm not going to try to say his name
Come
because
on, say his name, Voice.
it starts with an M. His last name starts with an R, and that is it. He doesn't have a nickname, so I can't even use that. But yes, the person that Jared Anderson will be facing, from an Eastern European country, is what I will say. But it's his biggest test. This guy's been fighting for quite some time. He's only lost twice, and as far as time in the ring, he's had more of it than just about anyone else he's fought outside of this Russian fighter, Vladimir Tershkin, that
Mhm.
Big Baby beat back about a year or so ago. Outside of him, he hasn't faced anyone else that's had as much experience as um, Mr. Rove Cannon, I'll say. If I said that incorrectly, please forgive me. I don't know how often we'll be saying his name again after this fight, if it turns out the way that all of Jared Anderson's fights have ended. Because not only is he 22, not only is he undefeated at 11-0, but all 11 of those fights have ended in a KO. This is a good step up for him. All of his fights prior to this have been below 10 rounds. So this will be his
Mhm.
first 10-round fight. Again, Rolf Cannon has more experience than just about anyone that he's fought. I mean, Vladimir, he hasn't fought since then. And like I said, that was a year ago that fight took place. So if he were to be victorious in spectacular fashion, it would be a great move and step up. Would he face a now? I know I think you said he wanted to face the winner
Yeah.
of. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Could he face the loser? Probably not. Just
Wow.
because of where he is in his career and the fact that um, he's not in the PBC ranks. Now, if he's about to be up as far as his promotional contract is concerned and he can move over to PBC, then great. Yeah, that would be that would be interesting. That would be interesting. Um, but again, I really don't see that happening. Um, he's probably, and his promoters will probably still continue to bring him on, or I should say, yeah, bring him up slowly as they should. But is he possibly the future? Yes, which is the reason why this is a fight that you want to pay attention to.
Well, I mean, he's definitely on the radar of everybody. Before this fight, he was actually scheduled to fight Christian Hammer on
Hmm.
the Tyson Fury White undercard, and he had to pull out before injury. So this is literally his first fight of the year, I believe, since
Hmm.
that December 21 knockout. So he's got a lot of great he's got a great future ahead of him because he's definitely ambitious. He wants to smoke with everyone. I mean, when I was looking at his media call, he was ready to call out just about everybody so that he can get in the ring because he's adamant that he wants to retire early. So that's definitely going to be
Hey,
exciting.
that is admirable. I commend him for having that kind of mindset. And he very well may, especially if he bites off more than he could chew too early. That could ruin his career and he'd be forced to retire early.
Man,
or that may cause him to stick around longer than he wants and blow his plan up.
there you go. Well, now wrapping up our great combat sports weekend in what many are calling one championship's biggest card in history. It's going to be taking place, of course, in the Singapore Indoor Stadium in Singapore. Adriano Moras and Demetrius Johnson are looking to follow up their 2021 bout, in which Adriano actually pulled off the major upset with a second round KO of Johnson. Now, Johnson gave him all the credit in the world, spoke highly about him. This is not about where, they're coming in and they're angry at each other. Demetrius is giving him great praise going into the bout. Now, Adriano was still young. So, Voyze, my question to you is, was the first bout a fluke? And what should we expect from the second? Do we expect Demetrius to recover?
Yeah. Was it a fluke? No, it wasn't a fluke.
Mm,
He got him down and he dropped him. And when he dropped him, he then kneed him in the head on the ground, which is
yeah,
not legal in practically any other MMA promotion outside of one championship. But knees and kicks to grounded opponents is legal in one championship. So again, he got caught, and anyone can get caught.
yeah,
You that is your catchphrase. It only takes one mistake, one lapse in judgment, and that's what happened to Demetrius Johnson. Also, let's be real. DJ is a beast. DJ has been he's been fighting since we forget about his time in WEC and things of that nature. He's been fighting professionally since 2009. His first amateur bout, though, was in 2006. So he's been at it for quite some time. And, it's not out of the ordinary that Father Time catches up to you and reminds you, or I should say, puts you in your place. Father Time is undefeated. And I came back in the custom rules bout and got a win under his belt. So, and he did win the Grand Prix in order to face Adriano Moraes. They thought that they were just going to crown him as champion, but Moraes was like, "Look, I have the belt, and I have the belt for a reason. I don't care if he is the GOAT.
mm,
We having some curry goat tonight." So or however they prepare goat in Brazil, they probably curry goat, or we're gonna barbecue the goat. But that's that's what was on his mind, and that's what he did. Now, does he do it again? That is the question.
mm,
One thing that DJ does very well is game plans. And now that he's been in there, we talked about the Tan Lee, I'm not the Tan Lee, but the Ook Lee fight, and how having that experience changes things. Now Demetrius kind of knows, okay, I know kid, is muscle bound, but with those muscles comes some pop. So I need to be a bit more careful as I am engaging with him. He comes into it with knowledge. He's got the master strategist, although he cannot be in his corner during the fights, but he's been training with the master strategist leading up to this in Matt Hume. So he'll be well prepared, and they will have broken down time and time again by the time they get into this fight exactly what happened, how it happened, what to do to keep it from happening, and what to do in order to enact his game plan.
right,
So that it's going to be interesting to see the adjustments. What kind of adjustments will Moraes make? He's not the only one, or I should say, he's also in this with a rematch. He comes from American Top Team as far as his camp is concerned. So he's got great people there as well. Great strategists there as well, whose game plan is going to come out on top, who makes the better adjustments, who has progressed since that fight took place. They both had one fight. DJ's fight was a mixed rules fight, whereas Moraes defended his against Yuya Watamatsu and won via guillotine. So who has grown more, who had the more room for growth from that fight? Just from a skill standpoint, I would say the more room for growth would be Moraes. But DJ is always fine-tuning his craft, so it's going to be interesting. I I could see a repeat, not necessarily knockout, but at least Moraes winning. And if DJ does win, then this really puts one championship over, because one of their prized and coveted acquisitions now holds the full-fledged title. We can't forget that DJ came into one championship in a historic trade with the UFC. They sent Ben Askren to the UFC, and or I should say, one sent Ben Askren to the UFC, and the UFC sent Demetrius Johnson to one championship. Well, Ben is playing disc golf in his backyard right now and coaching wrestling. DJ is still fighting. So if he's able to win, if Mighty Mouse is able to put his stamp on things, that's a huge win for one championship, especially on their first card on Amazon Prime. This is the first time that Amazon has really carried any fight sport, to my knowledge. They've carried WNBA games. I want to say that they may have had some baseball games. I know that they're kicking things off with Thursday Night Football. That's a contract that they just got, where they're doing it exclusively, but they've carried Thursday Night Football for the past couple of years. I can't remember them having any fight sports. None. Not even like some regional club boxing show or something. So for DJ to win, because he's going to bring people to the table, and they're even putting it in a time frame for the U.S. market, which is something that one historically has not done. They've always kept it at the time frame of where they're fighting, which is the reason why this is kind of broken up, because both of these fights take place on the same day. Both fight cards, I should say. But this one is for the U.S. market. Let him win. It's going to be all over Twitter, and there's no other major promotion fighting right now. PFL, they finished their playoffs last week. Bellator won't fight again until later on in September. There's no UFC fight this week, which is odd. And probably because they're going to Paris. They wanted a little time to get prepared and go over there. So this is the only MMA fight this whole weekend.
And it's a legend.
All eyes are going to be on this. And it's in prime time for the U.S. market. Yeah. Let DJ win. You talk about just all the news, and let it be spectacular too. And him do his little flip and punch in the air that he does after he wins fights. Oh man. But let Moraes win again. It's like, dude, Moraes already killed him. This dude is the truth.
Yeah, no matter what, no matter how it turns out, it's going to be a major headline, because, like you said, Moraes is definitely still an upstart, but Demetrius Johnson is literally a legend, probably one of, if not the greatest mixed martial artists of all time. I've actually heard a couple people mention that about him.
Yes,
people tend to forget. He was the inaugural flyweight champion. He holds UFC records, including takedowns in 3 different fights. He's everything. It's submissions, everything, every record that you can think of, he's literally somewhere on there. So a win for him would be great for one championship, but also a win for Moraes could also be great also, because it's the future. So it's going to be a great bout. Definitely excited for it. Demetrius Johnson has shown so much respect to him. He literally stated that Moraes is the future, but I definitely don't think he's ready to hang him up. And I think that's the one thing that happens in combat sports sometimes that can get lost is, listen, it only takes one swing, one kick to cause loss. We saw that this weekend, but it
Hmm.
doesn't literally kill legendary status. It doesn't make anyone less of, and I think sometimes people forget that. So that's going to be exciting.
Yeah. Well, I don't know all about Morais being the future. He's only 3 years younger than DJ. But can he parlay this um into making his career notable?
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm just going based off what Johnson said after the bout.
Yeah,
That
that's what I'm saying. DJ was being nice because uh, again, they're not that far away from each other in age. Now, granted, when he said it, that was a little over a year or so ago, so he was closer to 30 than he is 35 now. Um, so yeah.
so wait, no, because DJ is 36, right?
Yeah, DJ's 36, but Morais is 33. So it's
Ooh,
not,
okay.
yeah, it's not that, like, oh yeah, he's the future. It's like, and in fight sports, okay, yes, he could be the future, but the time frame as far as being champions is not that long. So from that perspective, I can see what he's saying. Not everyone, that's the reason why he's a GOAT. That's why he's AGT. I mean ATG, an all-time great, because DJ held that title for so long and
Right.
demolished so many people. He was so much further ahead of everyone that it made anyone else look like, it's like, what, dude, can these dudes fight? Yeah, they could fight. They're just going against an all-time talent.
So before we wrap up, let me ask you one question about this. Let's say Demetrius loses. Where does he go from here? I mean, is that the end? What happens at that point? I mean, he's 36, of course, so that's going to play into everything. But two straight losses, how would that play out?
Um, it really depends on when his contract with one championship is over. Let's not forget that one of the things that was um very appealing for him to come to one championship
Mhm.
was some of the other things that he does. He's also their ambassador for esports. So it's not like fighting is the only thing that he's doing or the only method of income that he's got going with one championship currently. He's got other things going on. So it really depends on his contract with them and what he decides to do. He could keep going on and fighting if he wants to because he is Demetrius Johnson. He is a marketable name. Anytime that he fights, you're going to want to watch the fight to see, does he still have it or not?
Mhm.
So there are definitely some options out there. He's been with one for a little while now, and I would suspect that he's nearing the end of his contract. And at his age, he's probably looking to retire as well. He's been really good with his money and
Mhm.
has always had other things going on for him. So, will you know? Will it be the end if he lost? No, the end will be whenever he says it's the end, and that will probably be whenever his contract is up.
Well, I'm sure Twitter will let us know. He signed a 8 fight deal in 2016, so I don't know
Mhm.
how much left he may have on that deal if he signed a new deal. So that's definitely going to be exciting. And I'm looking forward to see it, especially after last weekend's bouts, which we'll definitely be covering on Fight Night's update. Twitter will literally let you know immediately what happened, and the memes will come. So you always got to be prepared.
Yes, that.
Uh,
But yeah, if it's an 8 fight deal, he'll have two more after this. So he's still
okay.
got another year or so, and then by then, he'll be 37. So yeah, is it more likely for things to be over by then? Yes, but he's going to fight his contract out unless something just goes horribly awry or he just decides, hey, I'm done. But I don't see DJ as being that kind of person. He's a man of his word. He's a man of integrity. And the reason that Matt Hume is not in his corner is because Matt Hume is one of the executives for one championship. So, he would definitely want to do solids for his coach and father figure in bringing eyeballs to this organization.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, Voice, as usual, you've always provided us with the slander and the knowledge. So it's been another Great show.
Mama didn't say I was slandering you, so I'm gonna go with what Mama said. Now she comes
Mama's
back.
not gonna say that because Mama be slandering me too. But when the blow up situation happened, and you know what I'm saying, I'm hosting this show with you on a live network, and then I'm going to the Tonight Show. You know what I'm saying in my
Okay,
Steve
thank
Harvey
you.
show.
The blow up situation, because I was
The
trying
blow
to
up
figure out
situation.
what that was, and you see, I
That's
was looking because it sounded a little shing shing to me, but
I got my own dictionary, so let's stick
okay.
with it.
All right.
But
Well,
when
thank
I'm in my
you for
Steve
sharing
Harvey
that.
suit,
So you shouldn't be upset when I stick to the standard dictionary when you say stuff when you know you got your own language.
but it's gonna be added to the dictionary, to the standard dictionary, like it's coming.
All
You know what
right.
I'm saying? It's
Until
gonna
it
be
gets there.
t-shirts.
Don't
I
be
got
mad.
t-shirts coming that's gonna say blow up situation and flirt with aunties. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I do. It's all about the blow up situation, flirting with the aunties.
You gonna have Vivian on there too?
Yeah, we're gonna be. It's gonna be a picture of me and her with Uncle Phil's body, and we're gonna be
No. I'm talking about the name of the arena last week, the Vivian
No,
Arena.
that's not. No, see, no. You know what? I did great. This show. I ain't butchered nothing. You butchered everything. So I'm not. We ain't talking about old stuff. That happened last week. You know what I'm saying? Why you always bringing up old stuff, boy? Ladies and gentlemen.
Janice Smythe.
No, ladies and gentlemen, this has been a wonderful show. Thank you for coming for the knowledge and staying for the slander. Y'all see what I go through every week, but I would rather not go through it with anybody else because you know the Voices got it, even though it's coming. Like Voices come up and it's coming with me, so don't y'all worry about it. We hope that you are prepared for this week's bouts. We hope that you join us Saturday, MTMV Live. That's 10:30 a.m. Eastern. A great show. And of course, you get to see us, you know what I'm saying, for the Fight Nights update. Voice, before we head out, you got any last words?
Nothing additional to add this week. So I would just share and thank all of you for tuning in and making the show what it is, especially Mama. I really appreciate you being here to support your new bald head son in St. Louis, and just sticking by what I'm saying and not inflating the ego of Willdris any more than it has been, because you've lived with him, you birthed him, you understand what he needs. So I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you.
You gonna slander me to my mama on my way out? You know what, Voice? That's fine.
No,
Later.
well, let me say to everyone, until next time, fight the good fight.